Hey everybody, welcome to another Valley Forged. Today we're cleaning the lens on this bad boy. I've been wanting to do it for a while since I'm consistently using this machine for production, but I got halfway through it and I wasn't really sure of what I was doing because it got a little tight in there trying to take it off. So Atezr finally came out with a video on how to do this, so I'm going to take the long way and show and talk and everything about it as I go along. So if you want a more in-depth version of how to clean this lens, I'm going to do it right now. All right, see you in a sec. And as I had told a few of you, I wanted to make a video on cleaning the lens for your L2. So Atezr L2, Ikier would also fit into this category. It's probably going to be exactly the same, other than Atezr has this clear orange protector, which is so much better. Come on, let's be real. Very important to know how to clean the lens, and I had taken part of this apart before, and I have this handy dandy electric screwdriver. It comes with everything you need, but you know, honestly, I think it's a waste of money. I just want to use it because I paid for it. But the thing is, I spend more time trying to figure out which is the right fit screw than I could just do it with the Allen wrenches. But, and then it's got to come off. But why not? Hey, it's kind of cool looking. So you're going to take off these two screws, which hold on the cover. Bam, that's gone. It's so nice to be able to take that off so easily. You can see mine's pretty dirty. I've been making, this is actually hot off the press. It's out of walnut plywood, 1/8 inch. And you can see it's just cut it as clean as it could be, right? I mean, I had to just tap it and everything fell out. And that is so nice to be able to do. These things sell like hotcakes. And you may see that, you know, there's a ton of these on Etsy or whatnot. And that proves it's right hot off. But if you take these to a show, and I've done, you know, ones at churches as well, they sell really, really well in all different kinds of sizes. I've been to shows where this was the only thing that sold because there was like 5 customers or something, but yet somebody came by and bought all of these. So they make nice gifts as well. So just because, like I said, they're very popular on Etsy doesn't mean everybody has seen these. So I suggest, the reason why I point this out in particular is look at how it's cut. I mean, it needs to be perfect to come out right. And nothing is more frustrating than when you do something like this. Now, with a 10-watt laser, this took me an hour and a half per cross. Imagine getting all the way through that hour and a half and there's pieces of it uncut or not cut out perfectly. Also, even if it just takes a while for you to knock out each of these individual things, even if they're cut out, mostly is just a pain. So this is why I use this as an example. You want a machine that is consistent to be able to cut out this. And that's one of the reasons why I love the Atezr L2. Mine's a 36 watt. I'm sure you could do this just great with the 24. My settings, you know, I'm running like 500 at 100% power just to make sure it's clean, it's clear. And it does a super great job, but I'm getting ready to make a whole mess of these. Now these take about 20 minutes each, 15 to 20 minutes now instead of an hour and a half. And I can consistently know that it's going to come out correct. I don't know if the camera is jetting in and out. That autofocus is amazing. I should have set it on like, you know, stagnant or whatever. But I need to make sure the lens is clean for that. I'm not going to go through and make, 20 of these and have them start degrading. I don't know if this lens is dirty. I've used it a ton. As I just said, I absolutely love this laser. And for somebody who is doing actual work production on a non-CO2 laser, this is about as good as you're going to get, because it is fantastic and it's consistent. And that's something that's very important. So the next thing they say is to take off these screws here. And that's where I got last time, right? Now I'm so glad Atezr came out with a video showing to do this, because once I took these off, it was really snug, and that's because of the air hose in here. And I wasn't sure that if I took that off that I was ever going to be able to get it back on. And I'm still not sure. So I looked at the video. It shows that it's very easy to do. And this should come off and on without issue. So now I feel a lot more confident in doing that. And I feel more confident in showing everybody out there, because although these lasers are simply amazing, there really isn't a lot of videos on different things for this. In fact, if there's things that you want to know that you don't see videos on, let me know and I will make them, because that's what this channel is about. And since I am using this machine for the foreseeable future, that is something you could definitely ask me about. All right, so when I looked on the video that Atezr made, they just lifted this up and then put it to the side. It didn't actually pull this off. I think that the distance you get between here and putting this back on, wow, that's going to be a little tricky. And that's what I was worried about before taking it off in the first place, was how am I going to get this hose back onto there and onto, there's a little nozzle inside. Let's see, I'll put this up to the camera. Hopefully it'll show that. So with that little nozzle inside, I've got just this little bit amount of room. So what I'm gonna have to do is probably pinch this below and then push it on, and hopefully it will go on, and maybe I'll have to add a little sudsy water or something, we'll see. Now the inside of here, super clean. So although we got a little bit of dirt on the outside, it looks like the inside is super clean, almost eat out of it clean. So that is very positive. It means I probably won't have to do this very often. You get a little nervous in lasers when it comes to not using air. And such a beautiful thing about this laser is that it turns off the air automatically through light burn when you don't want it. So when I'm doing engraving, it's going to turn off that air when I don't want it. And it's just priceless. And the fact that this fan turns itself off when it's not in use is just simply amazing. All lasers will eventually have this. It just adds so much to what makes it amazing. It does have this autofocus here at the bottom. I don't actually use the autofocus. Doesn't mean it's bad, just means it really isn't. It's a convenience for me that doesn't really make much difference. I typically cut a bunch of the same size, 1/8 inch, over and over and over again because I'm doing production. So I just manually focus it. And I am going to be doing a virtual ramp test with this. One of the nice things is that it has also an automated Z-axis in Lightburn, so I can change the height and then make a line, change the height. So in the old days, you would have to do a ramp test and put it like this and make it go over there and try and find the best spot. Well, now I can do this automatically, so I'm going to be doing that in the next video. So we got down to here. This is the lens cover. It's not the actual lens, but it's the thing that you're going to be worried about. And so you simply unscrew that and take a gander through into a window or something like this and see if you could see any dust, dirt, whatnot. I almost feel like I shouldn't even clean this, it's so clean. But I do, if I look at it just at the right angle, I can see there's a little bit of dust there. So I might as well get that off before I do some serious. Now, I've done a lot of work, probably about 15 hours of work on this laser. And for it to just have a light coat of dust there, that's the best I've ever seen from any laser. Now, there's definitely many ways to clean off a lens. You know, I'm not going to pretend that I know everything. I have a kit, and so whatever makes sense for how dirty it is. This is very light. I've had some lens covers that had big spots in them only after a little bit of use. If any of you have a Ortur Laser Master 3 out there, you probably know what I mean. It's very difficult to keep this lens cover clean in that machine. There are several others that are like that as well, and so you need to keep an eye on this lens cover. Some come with an extra, which is really nice. And you can buy these things pretty easily. Now, I will blow it off, I will dust it off, and kind of see what we're looking at. And then I have this handy dandy spray. Now, I would say isopropyl alcohol 90%, or something specifically made for cleaning lenses. In the video, they use 70%, which, you know, I would say many professionals say is not good enough. But I have never seen it actually hurt anything, so I'm not going to say that that's a bad idea. Now, where is the smoke? Generally coming from the outside, but I am going to clean both, and then I'm going to make sure they're spotless before I put this back together. I don't plan on, now that I see how well it works, I'm not going to plan on doing this a lot. Probably once a month, or it just depends on how much work I'm doing. After I've done it 2 or 3 times, I'll get an idea for, you know, how dirty this gets, how often. You don't want it to get dirty enough to where it's going to leave a permanent mark. And that's kind of the main thing, you know, if it's dirty and then you've got a laser coming through it, you're going to start leaving a permanent mark, and then you're going to have to replace it. So that looks really, really good. That is kind of almost perfect. Wow, I have to say I'm really impressed. Thanks, Atezr. This is something I was really worried about, was how clean this was going to stay and how much of a pain in the butt it was going to be to clean it once it was dirty. And I'll give them a B on ease of cleaning it, because there is a lot to this laser. But I will give them an absolute A on how dust-free this thing is remaining. And I'd say that's really the more important thing. If you only have to do this every once in a while, then you're doing really, really well. I see one tiny little dot there that I'd really like to get rid of. Now, one thing they'll say is don't spray this directly on the lens. I think that's more for cameras. I think you could probably spray this directly on it. It's not going to be too much of an issue. It's probably because a lot of lenses have electronic parts in them. I'm probably overdoing this. Almost certainly am overdoing this, but whatever. Okay, that looks pretty good. So I am actually going to let it dry for a second, and then I'm going to put it back. It has a little bit of moisture in there. I suppose this is like alcohol or something. It's going to completely dry itself, but I didn't want to take any chances. Screw it back on. Let me get this out of the way in case it's trying to focus on it or something. All right, so that looks really good. Now comes the fun part, right? How am I going to get this back on? Actually, I'm gonna dust it off quick. Okay, I'm gonna go clean this, and I will be right back. So I'm just blowing through this, making sure it's not obstructed or anything like that. And now I'm going to try to get that hose back on. That's super important. We don't want to put all this back together and then find out the hose is no longer attached. But at the same time, I don't want to pull it out from wherever it's attached up there. I'm sure that would be a nightmare. Has anybody out there done that yet? Actually pulled this hose off? It looks like there's a way to get this off up here. But I would not be looking forward to doing something like that. So here's me trying to get this on. But the other thing is that once I get it on, it's gonna have to go here. So I wanna make sure, yeah. So when I twist it, boy, this is, I'm gonna try to get the camera in here a little tighter, but I'm not sure I'll be able to get it to where you can actually see what's happening. But you see that little thing. So what I'm going to try and do is point it to where it's just going to close over and then get it to go on. So yeah, I would say this is kind of a pain in the butt. This part in particular, they make it look really easy on the, in fact, yeah, they don't actually show it, I think, when they're putting it back together. That's convenient. That would look kind of bad on film, wouldn't it? So what I did is I just stuck I put it kind of where I wanted it, kind of took my pinky and just pushed it on little by little, and that worked for me. You may have to lubricate it up with something, but it looks like it's completely on. I'm gonna have to test this after I get it on to make sure that, see, I'm pulling it a little bit, making sure that it's on. And then I'll test it in the machine, make sure there's air coming through. So now we've got that. I can take and start putting the screws back in. Now I'm doing this actually for the second time because I took this part, I took it all the way here before. But everything's just happening kind of live on camera. So if I can do it, you can do it. I mean, the Allen wrench will work just fine for this. So I'm going to clean off this lens a bit. Now for cleaning off acrylic, if you get scratches and stuff, which you may on not only on your main unit here, but also on your screen for your enclosure or whatever, you can buy this product that cleans glass. In fact, you know what it's really good for? Cleaning off your headlights. You know how they get smoky and cloudy and they want to charge all this money for, cleaning off your headlights? Well, I use, what is this product? Nexus? And it's for cleaning off acrylic, and it's unbelievable. Everybody that works in lasers should probably have some of this anyway, because it really does come in use. And of course you can, surprise your friends by cleaning off their headlights if they're dirty. May save their life. All right, I think I'm gonna take it back. These things are kind of cool. They do make life a little bit quicker. If you can possibly look through both sides of these and find the exact right size. It's the only thing that's inconsistent for me. I guess I could probably, I don't know what I could do. Anyhow, back together. Looks beautiful and clean. That, got a little dirt on the outside here. I may try to dust that off, but I guess the one thing that I think about with laser companies, and this one has two, you've got here where you put the cable in. You also have one down here. Now, every time that you pull this out, you're taking a chance that you're going to mess up a wire, something's going to go wrong. I would rather never have to do that, and to clean the lens, you have to do that. So one of the bad things about if you have a laser that gets dirty a lot is you're eventually probably going to destroy the wire. So this is one of the things I hope laser companies think of in the future is just a better quick connect, disconnect on this particular part. The rest of it stays together pretty much full time. But for every time that you have a laser module, you are going to have to take it off many, many times. So thinking about making that easy. Now, of course, to get this off is like, yeah, unscrew, done. So that is super convenient. But I would like to see some quick connects there. I gotta say, great job, Atezr. I mean, I know there's a few things that when it came out of the factory, I did have to adjust that should not have to happen. But once I got it all done, this is a production machine, and I do highly recommend it. It has changed my everything when it comes to my business. And if you want to run a small business with a diode laser, it's absolutely doable. And then when things ramp up, you can get two. So good job, and I hope you guys learned something from this video. It is pretty simple, but I wanted to show it in actual real time because the video that they put out, yeah, it's all fine and dandy, but it's you know, they cut it in certain spots. So I think everybody should be able to see how it's actually done. And that's that. So I will see you in the next video. Love y'all.